Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today's topic is football at the Olympics, and why it seems like nobody cares about it, which of course wasn't always the case. But first, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking my videos. So let's get started. Football has a long history at the Olympic Games, being one of the sports included in almost every Summer Olympics except 1896, the inaugural Games, and 1932. In that year, FIFA wanted to promote FIFA World Cup tournament. From the start of the Olympics, football was not included in the program at the first modern Olympic Games in Athens in 1896, as international football was in its infancy at the time. However, sources claim that an unofficial football tournament was organized during the first competition, with participating teams including Athens and Smyrna, Izmir, then part of the Ottoman Empire, but it was never recognized as such. Tournaments were played at the 1900 and 1904 Games and the intercalated Games of 1906, but these were contested by various clubs and scratch teams. Although the IOC considers the 1900 and 1904 tournaments to be official Olympic events, they are not recognized by FIFA, and neither recognizes the intercalated Games today. In 1900 the competition was won by the London Amateurs of Upton Park FC, representing Great Britain. The 1904 tournament was won by Canada, represented by Galt FC. In the London Games of 1908, a proper international tournament was organized by the Football Association, featuring just 6 teams. The number of teams rose to 11 in 1912, when the competition was organized by the Swedish Football Association. During the 1920s, Uruguay dominated the Olympics and won the tournament 2 times, and this is why Uruguay has 4 stars at its football national badge but has won FIFA World Cup only 2 times. It is because FIFA recognizes 1924 and 1928 tournaments as unofficial football's first world championship. FIFA realized that the Olympic movement prevented nations from competing on an equal footing and, given that the Olympics only permitted amateurs to participate, did not represent the true strength of the international game. The popularity of international soccer gave FIFA the incentive to create an international tournament, and FIFA began organizing the World Cup. Following Jules Rimet's proposal in 1929 to initiate a professional world championship of football, the sport was dropped from the 1932 Los Angeles Games by FIFA in an attempt to promote the new tournament. Football returned to controversy at the 1936 Berlin Games. The German organizers were intent on the return of the game to the Olympic movement since it guaranteed income into the organization's coffers. As professionalism spread around the world, the gap in quality between the World Cup and the Olympics widened. The countries that benefited most were the Soviet bloc countries of Eastern Europe, where top athletes were state-sponsored while retaining their status as amateurs. As a result, young Western amateurs had to face seasoned and veteran Soviet bloc teams, which put them at a significant disadvantage. All Olympic football tournaments from 1948 to 1980 were dominated by the Soviet Union and its satellites. Between 1948 and 1980, 23 out of 28 Olympic medals were won by Eastern Europe, with only Sweden, gold in 1948 and bronze in 1952, Denmark, bronze in 1948 and silver in 1960, and Japan, bronze in 1968, breaking their dominance. The next 2 tournaments saw some changes due to FIFA's changing of the call-up rules, with only Yugoslavia, bronze in 1984, and the Soviet Union, gold in 1988, winning medals for the Eastern Bloc. For the 1984 Los Angeles Games, the IOC decided to admit professional players. However, FIFA still did not want the Olympics to rival the World Cup. A compromise was struck that allowed teams from countries outside of UEFA and CONMEBOL to field their strongest sides, while restricting UEFA and CONMEBOL, the strongest confederations whose teams had played all finals and won every single World Cup title. Since 1992, male competitors have been required to be under 23 years old, and since 1996, a maximum of 3 over 23-year-old players have been allowed per squad. African countries have taken particular advantage of this, with Nigeria and Cameroon winning in 1996 and 2000 respectively. Because of the unusual format and the separation from the main national teams that play the World Cup and top continental tournaments, historically strong men's national teams have unimpressive Olympic records. Uruguay, who won the 2 tournaments prior to the World Cup's creation, only qualified again in 2012, after an 84-year absence. Argentina won silver twice, 1928 and 1996, before the 2004 tournament, but its appearance in Athens 2004, in which it won the first gold medal, was only their 7th overall. Brazil's silver medals in the 1984, 1988, and 2012 editions were the best they had achieved until 2016's gold. Italy has only won the Olympic title once, in 1936, although along with the 2 bronzes, the team has the highest number of appearances in the tournament, with 15, the last in 2008. France won the Olympic title in 1984, but only qualified twice ever since. A team from Germany won the gold medal only once, in 1976, East Germany, and the reunified team did not make an Olympic appearance until 2016, when they won silver. Spain has won gold as hosts in 1992, and followed it with 2 silver medals, in 2000 and 2020, having also won a third in 1920, along with a few failures to qualify. As that being said, you've almost certainly heard at least once that nobody cares about football Olympics. While it's not accurate to say that nobody cares about football at the Olympics, it's true that the Olympic football tournaments don't generate the same level of interest as other major football competitions like the FIFA World Cup or Continental Championships. The under-23 age restriction, with only 3 overage players allowed, means that many of the sport's biggest stars don't participate. As a result, the tournament is often seen as less prestigious. Also, the Olympic Games often clash with the off-season or pre-season of major football leagues. Clubs are sometimes reluctant to release their players for the Olympics, especially if they are key players or need rest after a long season. And for many years, the World Cup has been considered the pinnacle of football. The Olympic football tournament, especially in the men's game, is seen more as a developmental competition rather than a premier event. The Olympics have a wide array of sports, and football is just one among many. The media and sponsorship attention is spread across various sports, diluting the focus on football compared to dedicated football tournaments. Despite these factors, there is still significant interest in Olympic football, particularly in countries where winning an Olympic gold is a major achievement. For example, in 2016 Brazil's first ever Olympic gold in football on home soil generated massive interest and celebration. While Olympic football might not command the same global attention as other major football tournaments, it still holds significant importance for players and fans, especially in specific contexts and regions. So tell me guys, what do you think about football Olympics, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you next time.